Why was the shooter sent back to class?
And if that didn't occur, what were you going to do?
I was going to call Child Protective Services.
New insight into that emergency meeting between counselors and the parents just hours before the shooting at Oxford High School.
And that was just one key point in a really busy day of testimony in Pontiac. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Karen Drew in for Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. The school counselor spent time on the witness stand talking about the concerns he had leading up to the shooting. Let's get back to Sean Lay, who's been following this trial from inside the courtroom. Sean.
Devin, Karen, remember the prosecution here, Oakland County prosecutors, they are still building their case to the jury. So these are prosecution witnesses. But today was a lot about cross-examination and the defense. The morning of the shooting, Oxford school counselor Sean Hopkins, you'll hear from him. He says James Crumbley sat down and counseled his son after he was presented with his son's violent images and disturbing words. Here's Hopkins.
It was enough that I wanted to involve a parent.
Sean Hopkins is a counselor at Oxford High School. Specifically, he was the counselor of James Crumbley's 15-year-old son. Crumbley's son was put right onto Hopkins' radar the spring of that school year. An email from a teacher who was concerned about him. Prosecutor Mark Keast walking Hopkins through more emails sent to him from more teachers at Oxford High School in the weeks and minutes leading up to the shooting. The day before the shooting, Crumbley's son was caught looking up gun ammunition on his phone. The morning of the shooting, James Crumbley's son was caught with violent words and images all over his math sheet. An emergency meeting was called. James and Jennifer Crumbley said they had to go back to work. They could not take their son out of school that day.
I was going to meet with the student the next morning and see if they had had conversations about it, if they had made some plans to move towards some sort of therapy.
And if that didn't occur, what were you going to do?
I was going to call Child Protective Services.
But Hopkins said he never sent those red flag emails from the teachers on to James Crumbley. Dean of Students at Oxford High, Nicholas Ejak, testifying, no one at that meeting thought the teen was a threat.
It was your perception that Mr. Crumbley was showing care for his son?
Yes.
That he reassured his son that he can always talk to him?
Yes.
In no way did you feel that Mr. Crumbley was being neglectful of his son?
No, I did not.
That's Mario Lehman, the defense attorney you hear questioning Ejak right there. She is the defense attorney for James Crumbley. That was the morning session. We just got done, guys, with the afternoon session. Video by video, prosecution is showing the jury basically how a shooter is built, basically with an ATF agent on the witness stand. First video of the shooter with his dad at the range. He almost blows his hand off. By the time they get to the end, the ATF agent says all these trips to the range with his father, he became extremely proficient with a 9mm handgun. That's at 6.
Yeah, all right, Sean, we will see you then. And Christy McDonald, meanwhile, has been anchoring our live stream coverage on the trial on Local 4 Plus, and she's going to join us at 5:30 to talk about some of the big takeaways from today's testimony, including that video Sean was just mentioning of the Oxford shooter firing at a local gun range, and then video of him handling one inside their home. That's at 5:30.